You found yourself on another episode of Locked on Bulls. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls losing their third game in a row to the Dallas Mavericks. How long could this losing streak go? We're going to talk about all that. Plus, Modest Bucilis had a great night tonight for the Chicago Bulls. Will it wake Billy Donovan up? All that and more right after this.
You are Locked on Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked on Bulls, member of the Locked on Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And I'm joined today by C-Dub from the Cognac Boys, Chicago Bears Central, NBA Central. He does a lot of stuff over there. Shout out to C-Dub in the building. And you can start the season off with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Let's get started, C-Dub. The Chicago Bulls lose again after getting out to another early deficit against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, there were some initial signs that maybe the Bulls were going to be able to come back. They got to, I think, an 11-point deficit. They got it down to 3 or 4, but then the Dallas Mavericks came marching back and never looked back again when it was all said and done in this. How'd you feel about this game, Dub?
I mean, the formula is easy to come about with this Bulls team if they want to win a game or even be close to competing for a game. They have to take care of the basketball. And for the last maybe 2 or 3 games, they have not taken care of the basketball. Over 20 turnovers once again. The Bulls get 20 turnovers, you know they're going to lose. Let's just put that on the board. We're not getting sufficient support from players you thought you were going to have to rely on in the start of the season. I'm especially disappointed in Ayo Dosunmu this entire first part of the season. He ended up with a triple-double. I would never thought that I would say those words this season, but he only had 6 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, and he was out there for 25 minutes. Those 2 3-pointers coming like the end of the game when he got put out in that fourth quarter. Patrick Williams continues to struggle. I think even though he is rather solid on defense, he's okay on defense, but offensively, I just think he's trying to do too much on the floor. We can just forget about him having handles. I think he should get that out of his mind that he has a handle and just stick to just getting one move and get to the basket, make one quick decision, and do something with the ball, Patrick Williams. It's just not working. Nick Vooch is continued to shine out there. He's good. It just wasn't a lot of help. His defense, I keep saying that he went from horrible to bad. It's still bad, but he's trying out there on the defensive end. This Bulls team, they missing. Let's just add to the fact that they missing Zach LaVine out there, who's been having a wonderful start of the season. Maybe they'll be competing for this game right here. I don't know if they win, but they'll be better standing, I think. Just another, it's the formula. They don't take care of the ball. They're going to lose, and they're going to lose bad. They're going to lose bad.
I mean, and the thing is that the Bulls is 60 points in the paint given up today. The Bulls are averaging almost 60 points given up in the paint every single game. And that's just I get to live by the 3, dive by the 3, right? Like the Bulls have, for the most part, eliminated the math problem that they've had the last couple of years, whereas they were efficient in everything but 3, but they gave up so many 3s, but they've replaced that with not only efficient offense for the opposite team with giving up so many points in the paint, but also it's a momentum changer. Like when you get a crazy layup or a crazy dunk or you're scoring in the paint, that's a mental part of the game that I think sometimes gets overlooked as far as like building that confidence. And then we've seen it. We want our players to do it. If you can get easy shots at the rim, you start seeing the ball go in a couple of times. Now your confidence is built for the mid-range. Now your confidence is built for the three-pointer. And so right now, the Bulls they've replaced one math problem with now a momentum problem, and that may be the undoing of this team in the long term as you look at it goes over the course of the season. Because even with Zach LaVine being back, it doesn't help the paint defense. I don't see any solution on this roster to fixing how many points we're giving up in the paint. There's no schematic changes that are really going to do it, because if you do, then you're just opening up the three-point shot again, which, okay, like you got to look at like, this is another indication for me that we got to look at AK again and say that we've lacked shot blocking for 5 years on this team. 5 years we've missed rim protection. ever since Larry Marketing and Daniel Gafford went away, we have not had rim protection. Why is it that so many Chicago GMs look at the same problem and just think it's going to get fixed by hope between Ryan Poles and the offensive line and AK with rim protection? I don't understand it, bro.
I think this is wanting eyes. They go and they look at teams like the old Golden State Warriors. You see a team like Draymond Green being your paint protection. I wouldn't see him as him blocking a lot of shots, but you could call him in a sense a paint protector.
He's a rim protector with physicality, right?
With physicality,
like, yeah.
With the Bulls, it's just what you said. It's obvious they do not have the bodies to even think about having paint protection. You have to play defense as a team. There's no excuses. You got to be able to guard the paint of what you have. I really don't blame this on Billy Donovan, if you can believe that, because I think it's up to the players. It's a will to play defense. You got to want to play defense. You got to want to protect the paint. You got to want to defend the 3-point line. This team has an IQ problem on the defense and the offensive end.
That's a great point.
They have an IQ problem, and it just tells by the turnovers. I think they had 4 games of 20-plus turnovers on this team. 20-plus turnovers. Out of 8 games. That's nuts. I don't think I've been watching Bulls all my life. I've never heard of a stat like that. I think Jalen Smith is probably our best paint protector, if you want to call it, but I don't think he's that. He can get up and block some shots at times. I just think we're effed when it comes to protecting the paint. If you want to talk about in a traditional sense of a regular paint protector, we effed. We don't have the bodies.
Yeah, I love that you pointed it out, because typically we are trained to look at rim protection and think shot blocking. Like there's multiple ways to be able to protect the rim, right? You can play physical enough to where you don't have you're not giving up points close enough to get to the rim. That's a version of rim protection. It's not as common. And then of course you have shot blocking, the thing that we're traditionally looked at. We lack at both of them right now. Like, yes. To make no mistake about it, I love what the way that Nikola Vucevic is playing defense this year. He's playing defense a lot better and more consistent than what he has in prior years. Got to give him some credit for that. But he's not a rim protector. He's averaging a block per game, so he's doing what he can do. Like, I got to give him credit for him playing outside of himself, because that's just not typically how Nikola Vucevic plays. So he's trying to do the best that he can. Yeah. Jalen Smith, he offers some weak side rim protection a little bit. I'll give him that a little bit, but it's still not at the level. He's not playing enough minutes. We don't play him enough minutes for him to really try to protect the rim for us either. So, like, the Bulls don't have the physicality. We don't have the length. Like, it just, at some point, AK has to just wake up and be like, I got to go out here and get this by any means necessary, because we need rim protection. We cannot go by without rim protection, but that's what they keep having us do. And I don't know how much more that we can keep seeing it. Like, you keep throwing crap at a problem, nothing's sticking.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you want to look at the other assets we have that can possibly, if you even think they could, like Adama. He can clog. He's a roadblock because of the big body that he has, but I wouldn't call him a paint protector. And do you blame Patrick Williams? Put any blame on Patrick Williams, Strip? I wanted to ask you that. With the athleticism and girth that he has, could he can help in the paint a lot more, I think.
Yeah, he could. But the thing when it comes to Patrick Williams as well is that I think we got to also look at the schematics of it, right? Is that the way that we run him a lot on the perimeter, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get for him to protect the rim more. Like, yes, he is the power forward, but we use him in such a versatile way because of our defense overall and stuff like that. It's just he needs to be better just overall, but I'm not going to blame the rim protection on him, because if you look at the way that schematically we use him, he can only do it so much. Like, honestly, for the positions that he's in, he actually has a pretty good block rate. But yeah, I don't really know, bro. I have no idea, man.
Yeah, I just think we're stuck with no answer unless there's some moves to be made. I think we're good on the perimeter at times, playing defense at times. Yeah. But once you just got an open corridor to the basket, That's an easy way to lose basketball games if you just allow anything in the paint. You see the how the Dallas Mavericks was playing us in that third and fourth quarter. That was embarrassing, dude. They just did whatever
They
they
don't
wanted to
care.
do.
They don't care at that point. Like people looking at Chris Duarte putting up 8 points and stuff. It's like, yeah, but the Dallas Mavericks literally was like, all right, hey, y'all got it.
Yeah,
we didn't need to beat y'all by 30 anyway. Y'all got it. Go ahead, have fun.
They were shooting up, and he was just spamming shots. Come on. Everybody knows that. Y'all been watching basketball.
He was just up there getting cardio in at that point, bro. But next, we're going to talk about the only bright spot, at least in my opinion, in this game, other than Dalen Terry's defense, is Matas Busilis. But first, I got to get into a message from you guys from Skims. All right. When I found out Skims was making underwear for men, I have to admit I was pretty excited. My girlfriend has been buying Skims for a while now, and it's always been raving about how comfortable the underwear is, so I knew we were going to come through with the men's stuff. As you know, I work out 5 days a week, as you can tell by this physique, but I've never liked wearing synthetic feeling with workout underwear, especially when I'm done at the gym. When I tried Skims Stretcher Box Briefs, it felt like I was finally found the missing link. They give me all the movement I need for working out without feeling like I'm walking around wearing gym clothes the rest of the day. Plus, they never lose their shape or ride up. And maybe it's my head, but I swear since I started wearing these, my gains have improved too. Shop SKIMS Mens at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show from the drop-down menu that follows. Again, tell them, I keep telling y'all this on every single ad read. Tell them Locked On Bulls sent you, because so that way you can help us grow. That's what you do. I'm giving you guys great content and newsletters 5 days a week. The least you can do is tell them that Locked On Bulls sent you. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever, also available at skims.com. All right, C-Dub. Got me slanging Skims. That's crazy.
That was a good job, Drip.
Hey, listen,
that was great.
Listen, I'm doing my best, bro. Hims and Skims. Like, how did we get here? But nonetheless, Matas Busilis finally got some meaningful minutes today, bro. And from the moment he checked in, it really seemed like Matas Busilis was at the point where he just figured, I'm just going to go out there and play now. Forget it. Like, there was a time where he pump faked at the three-point line, went hard to the rim, finished at the rim. He hit a three-pointer. He was 2 for 2 in the first half of this game. He finishes 4 for 9 with 13 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, only 1 turnover. Great game from Matas Busilis. How you feeling, Dub?
Oh, that's just a little taste, and man, you gotta respect this kid, man, because a lot of kids with the same type of situation would have sunk. Being highly praised where you come from, going to the G League. He was actually slated to be a number 1 pick 6 months before the draft, and then come in and you only seeing 4 minutes in the first 4 to 5 games, and you just keep working. You keep trying to get better on in the shoot arounds. You're working out by yourself. You keep shooting. The jump shots look a little better from the start of the season for some reason.
Bro,
look a little better. He holding the post, the gooseneck now. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just I got all the confidence and faith in this kid. I think he can do about everything on the basketball court. He got to work on his defense now. I think he got to get a little bit more girth. He got to eat a couple more hamburgers now. But he can handle the ball for a big man. I'm talking in terms of for a big man. He's a big man now. He can dribble it. He can shoot it. He can get in the lane. He can play defense on the perimeter. Did you see that possession against Kyrie Irving? Yeah. Give me a guard that can do that against Kyrie Irving. He made Kyrie Irving pick up his dribble and give up the ball. He had a block shot today, got to the free throw line, and it's just a little sample of Matas Busilis. Let me see how many minutes he played.
22, I think. 22, 23, something like that.
23 minutes for Matas Busilis. And I'm not saying that he should start over P. Will. Let the kid work. Let the kid take steps and work. But as long as Patrick Williams continues to be inconsistent, I think this young kid's minutes should be going up. I think the kid is a baller. I think he has the ultimate confidence. And I think he just got a high upside, dude. He's going to go out fighting every single time. He's never going to be passive. This is a different breed animal right here. Get a kid a chance.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Modest Bucilis, we understand that he's raw, right? And while I was somebody who I didn't get all up in arms about him getting sent to the G League, mainly because you need reps. He needs to work on his shot mechanics. He needs to put on some weight. He needs to, work on tighten up his dribble. Something like he needs to do those things. He needs reps. So that's the main reason I was okay with the G League, because him playing 5 minutes at the NBA level isn't getting enough reps. He was going to be able to go down there, get a bunch of shots up, things like that. I think that if Billy Donovan can commit to playing Modest Bucilis 10 to 12 minutes a night, and then, of course, increase that on days that he's playing well, I think that that's perfect for Modest Bucilis in this rookie year. I think that would be perfect for it. Now, the question is does this performance open up Billy Donovan's eyes? Because I know Zach was missing, so there are more minutes to go around, things like that. But I look at it and I say this, this is not to shade Taylor Horton-Tucker, but Taylor Horton-Tucker is on a 1-year minimum deal. He's not part of the Bulls' future. I would rather take away THT's minutes, add that to the 6 that Modest Bucilis was already getting. If Modest has a game where he's just not playing well, THT is always going to be there ready to go. Always going to be there ready. He's a vet at this point. Yeah, he's only 23, but he's been in the league for 5 years. He's averaged 20 minutes per game. He's going to be ready to go. This Bulls team isn't winning. They're not. Now, it'd be different if we're talking about a Bulls team that instead of being 3-5 was 5-3. That's a different conversation. At this point, you need an edge. What does Modest Bucilis bring? Is some edge. What's another thing that we talked about? Rim protection. He's not a good on-ball defender, but you know what Modest Bucilis is really good at? Blocks per minute. He's damn good at that, and he catches those chase down blocks all the time. I just think that Modest Bucilis, with this performance, and keep in mind, the first 2 stints that he was in, yes, towards the end of the game, he was in against the Dallas, but he was in there against the Dallas Mavericks actual rotation. Yeah. I think this kid is ready for some minutes. I think he's ready for some minutes.
Absolutely. And it's on Billy Donovan. We know how stubborn Billy Donovan can be. I do agree with you that Modest Bucilis is very raw, and the only thing that can help him is 10 to 12 minutes, which I think should be elementary. Just be honest. THT has been bad for the first 8 games of the season. I think he's been bad. The few minutes that he played,
he's had his moments, but yeah,
I think overall he's just been bad. I just don't like the rotation that Billy Donovan did exactly this game. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Modest Bucilis came in and gave you a push. He gave you 5 points. The Bulls started to make a little run to get back in the game, and then the next quarter, he brings in, I think it was THT or Torrey Craig. Like, for what?
The Torrey Craig minutes I didn't understand today.
I just don't. Why? What's the point? Reward the kid. That's how you coach. When now, somebody
he played 23 minutes, so I understand. Like, maybe at that point, but like I still don't understand. At this point, the Bulls should just be like, who wants Torrey Craig for a second? What team needs a veteran piece? Just take him off our hands.
Can we get a second for Torrey Craig?
You better damn well be able to get a second for Torrey Craig.
Okay. They might give us a coupon or something for Torrey Craig.
Bro, Torrey Craig is really good when he plays. Like, the thing with Torrey Craig is he's a true role player. Torrey Craig is better when he plays off stars. That just is what it is. Who Torrey Craig is.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. He's better when
he plays off stars. So, I think that for a team that, like, I don't have a team off the top of my head, but for a team that needs, like, for example, the Milwaukee Bucks need some depth.
Okay.
Second round pick.
So I'm with that.
Yeah, so I just think that Torrey Craig could be, his value is more for a team that has a bunch of stars than this young rebuilding team that sits in the middle of the pack somewhere. Like, Torrey Craig could really help a team, especially on a playoff push. And I do hope that the Bulls, they got offered 2 seconds for Andre Drummond they didn't take. I don't think you get 2 for Torrey Craig, but if you can get a second, you take it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I like what you said. He just doesn't fit this type of team. He's more for a more star-laden team. Yeah, absolutely. I think Javon Carter as well. He fits that type of mold. And probably Duarte, too. Like, they'll be better off in
Chris
another
Duarte
team.
just doesn't fit it all.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Chris Duarte should be somewhere making mofongo for people and just handing them out for free. I haven't had a good mofongo in a minute, though. That actually just made me hungry. I'm going to have to go get some mofongo.
Is that pudding?
The mofongo is It's made from fried plantains, and then it has the shrimp and the queso.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, man. Yeah. I'm allergic to that. You got shrimp.
Oh, you're allergic to shrimp? Oh, yeah. I'm not
shellfish.
trying to kill you, my boy.
Shellfish.
My bad. Damn, bro. We've been boys for like 4 years. I'm just finding this out. I'm glad.
I think I told you. I think you told you.
That's crazy. Because if you would have ever came to the house bro, I grill shrimp every time, bro. You would have been like, did this nigga just put shrimp?
Oh my God, Trip. No. No, Trip.
All right.
Man.
With that said, man, we're gonna go ahead and get into the next. We got to get into the last topic for today. Billy Donovan provided a very concerning update on Lonzo Ball. Before we get into that, we got to get into a message from FanDuel. Oh, definitely going to have to edit that out. With that said, man, we want to thank you guys for tuning in again, man. And we want to remind you guys, man, that right now you can get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win, meaning don't come here being a loser and complain when you don't get the extra $150 because you made the wrong picks. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. I've been telling you guys how much of a great tool that is, that you can get everything you need on the exact same page where you get all the information and you can place your bets. It just streamlines that process for you and gives you a leg up so you can get your parlays in. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Man, talking to C-Dub had my first slip up on Locked On, bro. That's
my
crazy.
fault because we just be kicking it, man, and it's my fault.
Crazy. Anyway, so there was an update on Lonzo Ball that I'm surprised actually hasn't gotten more traction. I think because, you know, the excitement around the game and everything, and even kind of the rumors that popped up as well earlier today that the Indiana Pacers are interested in Nikola Vucevic, which is weird. But calling in all of this is that Lonzo Ball is going to be sidelined much longer than expected. Billy Donovan saying this: I think we really dodged a bullet because that could have been a fracture that could have very well been similar to the Patrick Williams situation. Keep in mind, Patrick Williams, when he had his, ended up missing basically over 70 games, ended up coming back at the end of the season because he was a fast healer. And he says, so the mentality right now is certainly to be aggressive with treatment, and we're going to make sure that he's good. So this means that Lonzo, who was initially announced as being out for 10 days, which would have put him coming back here within the next couple of games, it sounds like Lonzo ain't coming back anytime soon, C-Dub. How you feel about this?
I just feel bad for the kid. Lonzo Ball, he's fought all this way back. He seems like he's okay on the court. He's a little bit healthy, and then this little speed bump. And I do think it's a speed bump, Drip. I think the Bulls is going to take every precaution, especially what they went through in 2021 with Patrick Williams. He had the same type of injury, and it ended up being a torn ligament. What did he got? Torn bones or whatever. He got broken bones in his wrist. So I know it's just for frustration on the kid. I feel for him. I know what we're going to hear in social media, like this kid, you know, what type of memes and stuff is going to come out. Yeah. But it's not his fault. Stuff happens on the court, and I don't think it's as serious. He'll get back on the court. They're going to take every precaution to keep this kid on the court. Now, if you trust the Chicago Bulls training staff, that's on you. But
well, it's a new medical staff, and they've been different so far this season.
They've been different. So I think we owe them to be fair in that case. I think this is another roadblock. You just got to go through your hurdles, dude. He'll get back on the court. That's it. I feel bad for the kid, man.
I feel bad for him too, bro. Like it really sucks because Lonzo has come back and he's looked primarily, I mean, basically like Lonzo Ball for the most part. Like it's He's looked really good so far in his return. So for it to have a setback and for it not to be his knee, I'm sure it has to be even more frustrating because you spent all this time like trusting your, and that was the biggest thing that stood out to me about Lonzo Ball is that he trusts that knee. And that's not usually what you see from people returning from a major knee surgery. Like they take some time to trust. He trusts his knee. He's just out there playing free. And so for it now to be taken away from you again by a completely different injury, like you said, the memes are going to come. The jokes are going to come. It is what it is. You can't avoid that aspect of things. But, I'm glad that this medical staff is playing it more safe with players. And, we already expect Alonzo Ball to miss back-to-backs and things like that. Like, it sucks that he's out for this period of time. But like I've said multiple times, and I've had to kind of change my thinking, every time Lonzo Ball steps on the court this season, he's making history. He's the first one to come back from this type of injury. So I'm not going to be too mad at it and upset with it. When we do get Lonzo, he's going to be Lonzo, and we just got to appreciate this time we have left with him as far as being on this team. I don't know what the future holds as far as the end of the season, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, and I just want to give him a shout out on his toughness. This kid is one tough kid. For what you say, he go out there and pray freely. He's diving in the crowd, he's getting to the basket, shooting threes, playing tough defense. It just happened on a fluke play, and I just know this kid is gonna be back, and he's gonna do everything he can to get back on the floor, dude. Everything he can.
Yeah. So that's what it comes down to. But I got nothing left, C-Dub, man. Anything left before we get up out of here, brother?
Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate you, Drip, always, bro. Shout out to Locked On for allowing a brother like me to get on here, man. I appreciate it, man.
Listen, they ain't got no choice, bro. They already know. I told them my people coming with me, so it is what it is when it comes down to that. You guys can follow us at Locked On Bulls. Make sure you guys check out C-Dub over the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys as well, where they're breaking it down. Best live caller in the business. If you want your live watch along, C-Dub got you covered on every Chicago sport, basically. At this point, you do Bears, Bulls, Sky, you do the random whatever happens. You call the Illinois game the other day. Like, hey, shout out to C-Dub, man. You need to put a tape together, bro. You need to actually try to get hired in doing this because you're good, bro.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Maybe I do, man.
I'm just saying, bro. But you guys can follow us at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me personally at CEO Haize, man. Make sure you guys also check out the daily Locked On Bulls newsletter written by me. You guys can go to lockedondaily.com to sign up for that and get news into your inbox every single morning. That way I catch you up on everything you need with the Chicago Bulls every morning. Otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. And we'll see you tomorrow after the game. Peace, y'all.